Right, Rangers fans, let's get into it. Tonight we've got a Europa League clash, and I know a lot of you reckon the competition is already done and dusted for us. I can see where you're coming from, and honestly, I'm more in the camp that says our focus should be the league. We've got a genuine chance of lifting the title this season, and the Europa League feels a fair way off just now. But the truth is, we're not completely out of it yet. If we manage to beat Ludogorets and then go and get a result away in Porto, we might not guarantee ourselves a spot straight away. But if other results go our way, we can still keep the dream alive and make it into the knockout rounds. And that's the thing, right? It's not just about the Europa League itself. It's also about the coefficient points. If we win the league this year, those coefficient points could be the difference between getting automatic entry into the Champions League or having to go through qualifiers. There's a lot of moving parts here with the teams around us and the ones currently leading their leagues, and we need those points to give ourselves the best possible chance of getting that automatic Champions League spot. So, yeah, the Europa League still matters, even if it doesn't feel like the priority. But here's the real issue. We should be beating Ludogorets at home, no questions asked. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is a game we should be taking care of, and we want to keep that winning momentum going at Rangers. People will say, rest the squad. And I'm just like, what? No. We want to keep that winning feeling alive. We want to go on a proper run, build a streak, and keep the momentum rolling. That's what Rangers need right now. Now, Danny Röhl came out yesterday with some transfer news, and while he did talk about pushing the hierarchy for more signings and bringing in more players, we actually agreed a deal for a midfielder this morning. That's the bit we'll be getting into today. But first, let's talk about the outgoing side of things. As you can see, Kieran Dow has been confirmed to join Hull City on loan, with a permanent move to follow in the summer. His time at Rangers is done. Best of luck to him moving forward, but it's clear that this is the end of the road. The news was confirmed by sources close to the club, and it's a move that makes sense for everyone involved. Dow is heading out the door, joining up with John Lundstrom at Hull City after his own tough spell over in Turkey didn't quite work out. Dow's time with us never really clicked. To be honest, I never really rated him, and it's one of those signings that just never felt right. Another one from England that, frankly, didn't work out and ends up leaving a bad taste. He was out on loan and at Birmingham last season, and it was always going to be tough for him to break into the starting 11 here. So this move is a good deal all round. It gives him a fresh start, and it gives Rangers the chance to clear the space and move forward. So, yeah, Kieran Dow is on his way out of Glasgow and out of Rangers, and it feels like the right call. Now, on to something a bit more positive. Danny Röhl has given an injury update on John Souttar, and it's cautiously optimistic, which is the kind of news we need right now. It comes at a crucial point in the season as Rangers juggle domestic ambitions with growing European pressure. Not long ago, the club was in a right mess. The dismissal of Russell Martin just 17 matches into his spell left everyone reeling. We were down as low as 8th in the Premiership, and the pressure was intense, both on and off the pitch. The scenes at Falkirk back in early October, when things boiled over, and Martin left under a police escort, really showed just how fractured the situation had become. Röhl's appointment was meant to steady the ship, and by most measures, he has done exactly that. Rangers have climbed back into contention domestically, and we've started to find structure, belief, and momentum under the German coach. League form has improved markedly, but Europe has still been a stubborn challenge. Röhl is still chasing his first continental win this season, and the margin for error is practically gone. That's been made harder by the absence of Sutar. The Scotland international picked up an injury earlier this month, and immediately there were fears he could be out for a long time, given how important he is to the defence. At first, it looked like he might be sidelined for a significant chunk of the season. But Röhl has now painted a more positive picture. He told reporters that Sutar is out for this week, but the result is positive. At the start, they thought it was long-term, but now it's looking like he could be back by Monday. That's a massive lift for the team. The update means Sutar will miss tonight's Europa League game against Ludogorets and the Premiership clash with Dundee on Sunday, but there's growing hope that he could return in time for the trip to Porto next Thursday. That's a huge game, one that could define our hopes of keeping the European campaign alive. Röhl also spoke about Dujon Sterling, another key player whose fitness needs to be carefully managed with the congested schedule. He said Sterling looks good on the pitch, but he's not sure whether he'll use him at the weekend because there are a lot of games coming up and they need to manage him. That's the reality right now. Squad availability could be decisive and every decision matters. In Europe, Rangers' situation is stark. Losses to SK Brann, Roma, and Fiorentina have left us down in the table, and qualification now depends on winning the final two games and hoping other results go our way. The pressure is intense and the margin for error is razor-thin. January has brought new faces, though, with Andreas Skov Olsen arriving on loan from Wolfsburg and players like Tochi Chukwuani and Toti Gomez adding depth. Even if financial realities limit what Rangers can do compared to richer leagues, these additions show intent. Domestically, the task is still huge. Rangers sit level on points with Celtic, but we're behind on goal difference. Hearts are 6 points clear at the top, and with the transfer window closing soon and key fixtures coming up, the next 10 days could really shape the season. In that context, Sutar's potential return is huge. It's not just about what he brings on the pitch, but the belief and stability his presence restores. And that's the thing, isn't it? Every boost matters now. Every injury update, every selection decision, every point dropped or gained feels amplified. The coming weeks will be a defining stretch for Rangers and a real measure of how far Danny Röhl has taken the team since stepping into a fractured situation. European qualification is still precarious, domestic ambitions are alive, and the margin for error is thinner than ever. The prospect of Sutar returning sooner than expected feels both symbolic and practical, right? So now we're really getting into the meat of it, and the thing that keeps coming back to me is just how thin the margin is for Rangers right now. We're not just fighting for a title or a European spot, we're fighting for momentum, identity, and a sense of direction. And that's why every single game, every single injury update, and every single decision from Danny Röhl feels like it could tilt the whole season. It's a bit like walking a tightrope, because one wrong step and you could end up losing the rhythm you've worked so hard to build, and that's where tonight's Europa League game becomes more than just another fixture. It's a test of character. It's a test of whether the team can handle pressure, whether they can stay calm and composed, and whether they can deliver when the stakes are high. I know a lot of fans will say it's just Ludogorets, but that's the thing. You can't afford to underestimate anyone at this stage, especially when your season could hinge on one result. The team needs to show the kind of professionalism that we've been lacking at times this season, and that starts with taking care of the basics. We need to control the game, keep possession, and make sure we don't give away cheap chances. Now, speaking of the squad, I want to talk about the way Danny Röhl has been managing things. He's come in and he's tried to instill a sense of structure and discipline, and for the most part, it's worked. The team looks more organized, more coherent, and more willing to stick to a game plan. But the big question is whether that structure can hold up under the kind of pressure that European football throws at you. It's one thing to dominate domestically, it's another to perform on the continental stage. And that's where Rangers have struggled this season. We've seen flashes of quality, but consistency has been the issue. And let's not forget, the Europa League has a different kind of intensity. It's not just about winning, it's about managing the game, managing the clock, and making sure you don't get caught out on the counter. That's why the defensive side of things is so crucial and why the news about John Souttar is so important. His presence gives the defense a kind of calmness and authority that we've missed. When he's on the pitch, the whole back line feels more secure, and that confidence spreads through the rest of the team. It's the difference between feeling like you're chasing the game and feeling like you're in control. But of course, we can't rely on just one player. The squad needs to be strong, and that's why the January signings matter. Andreas Skov Olsen, coming in on loan from Wolfsburg, is a statement of intent. He's a player with real quality, and he adds another dimension to our attack. We've also got Tochi Chukwuani and Toti Gomez, and while the financial realities of Rangers mean we can't always compete with the big spenders, these additions show that the club is still trying to strengthen the squad in the right areas. It's about adding depth, adding options, and making sure we're not overly reliant on a small core of players. Now, the league is where the real pressure is because Celtic are right there and Hearts are out in front. It's a familiar situation, and it's one that Rangers have to respond to with a strong mentality. The title race is still alive, but it's not going to be easy. We need to win the big games, and we need to avoid dropping points against teams we should be beating. That's been a problem in the past, and it's something we can't afford to repeat. The league is a marathon, not a sprint, and Rangers need to pace themselves while also maintaining that hunger to win. And that's where the coaching staff come into it. Danny Röhl has to find the right balance between keeping players fresh and keeping the momentum going. It's a tough job, especially with the Europa League still hanging over us. You can't just rest everyone because then you lose the rhythm, but you also can't push everyone to the limit because then injuries start to pile up. It's a delicate balance, and it's one that will define whether this season ends in success or disappointment. Now, let's talk about the fans for a moment because they've been through a lot. The last few months have been a roller coaster, and it's easy to get frustrated, but the support has been incredible. And it's clear that the fans still believe in this team. That belief is a powerful thing, and it can be the difference in the tight games. When the team hears the fans behind them, it gives them a lift. It makes them feel like they're not alone, like they're part of something bigger. And that's something that Rangers have always had, that connection between the club and the supporters. But the fans also deserve honesty. They deserve to know that the club is doing everything it can to compete at the highest level. And that's why the transfer window matters. We need reinforcements, and we need to make sure the squad is strong enough to handle the demands of both the league and Europe. It's not just about bringing in names. It's about bringing in players who fit the system, who can contribute, and who can handle the pressure of playing for Rangers. The next 10 days are going to be massive. We've got key fixtures coming up, and every result is going to shape the season. It's a defining stretch, and it's where the team has to prove what they're made of. The Europa League game tonight is the first step, and it's a chance to show that Rangers can still compete on the continental stage. We need a performance that's confident, composed, and ruthless. We need to show that we're not just here to make up the numbers. And then there's the league where every point matters. Celtic are breathing down our necks, and Hearts are sitting at the top with a lead that's not massive, but it's enough to make things difficult. Rangers need to respond, and they need to respond quickly. The title race is still alive, but it's not going to be handed to us. We need to fight for every point, and we need to do it with the kind of intensity that Rangers supporters expect. So, yeah, the season is at a crucial point. The European campaign is hanging by a thread, and the league race is heating up. Every decision matters, every injury update matters, and every player needs to be ready. Rangers have the talent, the history, and the support to push through, but it's going to take focus, resilience, and a bit of luck. And that's what makes football so exciting, isn't it? The uncertainty, the pressure, and the chance to turn things around when it matters most. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Ibrox as the pressure on Rangers boss Danny Röhl reaches fever pitch. Sources close to the club claim the board has issued an ultimatum. A defeat against Ludogorets could spell the end of Röhl's tenure at the Premiership Giants. It's either all or nothing now, one insider reportedly told us. The message was clear: if the team loses, there's no need for him to even return to the training ground. Röhl, the 38-year-old German, has already faced skepticism over his rapid ascent from a modest playing career to one of Scotland's most high-profile managerial positions. Once a promising midfielder at clubs like FSV Zwickau, FC Sachsen Leipzig II, and FC Eilenburg, his on-field career was cut short at just 21 due to injury. Since hanging up his boots, he's made waves in coaching circles, but the jump to managing a club with Rangers history and expectations has been anything but smooth. Fans and pundits alike have been debating whether Röhl's tactical approach can withstand the scrutiny that comes with Europe's spotlight. While some admire his disciplined, methodical style, others question whether he possesses the fiery charisma needed to command Ibrox. The looming Ludogorets fixture has only intensified these debates, with whispers suggesting that the board is monitoring not just the result, but the manner in which the team performs under him. Off the pitch, tension is reportedly thick. Staff close to the dressing room speak of a nervous atmosphere as players are caught between following a young, ambitious coach and managing the weight of expectation from one of Scottish football's most demanding fan bases. Rumours of internal meetings and strategy sessions behind closed doors have only fueled speculation that this fixture could be a defining moment for Röhl's career. Some voices within the club are already contemplating contingency plans, though nothing official has leaked. Whether the board is genuinely ready to make a decisive move or merely using the fixture as a wake-up call remains unclear. One thing, however, is certain: all eyes will be on Ibrox, as the Rangers faithful wait to see if their German manager can rise to the occasion or if the rumoured ultimatum will become reality. With Europe watching and expectations higher than ever, the atmosphere surrounding the club is electric. Rumours are flying, nerves are frayed, and the future of Danny Röhl hangs in the balance. Fans are holding their breath, and pundits are sharpening their pens, ready to dissect every move, every touch, and every decision. Should the team falter against Ludogorets, the German boss may find his Ibrox adventure over before it truly begins. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.